create so many different matchup problems for your defense, and you always have to be aware of them.
How do you slow them down?
The same way you slow me down. Well, you can't.
Within the...
So what it do? What it do? What it do? My people, my beautiful people, my excellent people, and the people, of course, that love me. How y'all doing today? Of course, this is, episode 8 of the ShiftMakers Podcast. I am L, the designer. Along with me, co-hosting, of course, is Lah Roc.
Yo.
And guess...
Feel like it's been a minute, son.
It definitely been a minute, but best believe, of course, you already know we was going to be back at it again.
Right.
And today, we got some hot shit for y'all. So, I've been kind of observing the landscape of, I guess you could say the NBA over the last 2 weeks regarding, of course, it's playoff time coming up soon. Also got this little thing that they push in the V word. I'm sure you know about it. I don't want to say it. I don't know if I really can say it because of YouTube. I don't know if they, want to take our episode down, but they've been pushing that amongst athletes heavily too.
Yeah.
And I kind of been thinking about our good old man, the King James, and his perspective on everything. And just when I thought about his perspective, I kind of just thought about him as a whole. And it really kind of hit me like this man, he been not just dominating basketball, but he been that nigga pretty much our almost whole life.
Right.
And it literally hit me like that. Of course, Kobe was the same way, but LeBron, is still here. So it made me think we need to do a breakdown of this nigga. Not only do a breakdown, but of course, we gotta give him his flowers, you did?
Right.
So, before we get into everything, I just realized I ain't even asked you, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm working on some stuff, just grinding it out, bro.
What you got in the tuck? You said you working on something. What you got going on?
Working on a YouTube channel, working on that spring collection for KRUE. You know about that.
Yeah.
It's just trust the process.
Of course. And I mean, that YouTube channel, I'm sure, our audience won't know what's going on with it. I'm sure they won't know at least a name.
Oh, of course. Lah Roc TV.
Yeah.
What other name would I go with,
And I mean, how we spell it, just in case a couple people don't really understand what Lah Roc mean or how,
LAHROC TV. You need me to spell it again, bro? Let me get it to you again. LAHROC TV.
You heard him.
Tune in. We're gonna be posting every week.
And subscribe on that motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, of course, I'm glad you're doing good, bro. I'm glad, you've been keeping shit busy. I'm glad, you got something in the tuck coming up. I, of course, been busy doing the same thing, pretty much just trying to get things together, get things a little bit situated with what I'm doing with Color Command, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But back to, of course, how man's LeBron. First thing first, I kind of wanted to talk about LeBron and his influence overall, right?
Okay.
So before we get into that, as I always do, of course, what's your feeling on LeBron's influence?
LeBron's influence. Well, I'm going to start from the beginning, bro, because I'm a Celtics fan. You know that. And, man, I used to hate LeBron back then. I ain't going to even lie to you, dog. And I was ecstatic when they lost to the Mavericks. And when they beat the Thunder that following year, I don't know, something snapped inside of me. And I'm like, damn, I'm a hating ass nigga because this is just pure greatness, So, ever since then, I've been a big fan of LeBron. He's been my favorite player outside of Kevin Garnett. And, I mean, man, I love what he does as far as, for the community, speaking up when, that community needs somebody to speak up. We talked about how the Black community specifically looks to celebrities, for confirmation on different things. But I think LeBron is one of those people who, you know, he's clearly shown his intelligence and that he knows what he's talking about. And, you know, when he say he gonna do something, he do it. So I think he's very influential.
So, and just to go back, remind us again who when he won against the Thunder, who was he playing for? I kind of forgot.
Oh, here we go.
I kind of forgot.
Playing for Miami.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
See, oh shit. Oh wow. Yeah, that team, those guys.
Oh man,
yeah,
this dude.
The same team, you know, that was in the finals last year. You know, my favorite team, pretty much over the past almost 20 years.
In 6.
But I ain't gonna speak on that, you dig? You know what I'm saying? But you know, I kind of agree with you for the most part. Exactly what you was talking about when it comes to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely does have a very, very tremendous influence. He definitely does pretty much keep his word. When he say he gonna do some shit, like you said, he normally do it.
Right.
I think LeBron definitely got a lot of help doing it, but that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah. So we ain't never knocking that shit. I kind of think though, LeBron's influence is very, very misunderstood when it comes to pretty much everybody. Like, I really don't think people truly understand how big of an influence LeBron has. And it kind of leads me to our first clip of the day, coming from my partners, of course, at the MoFax Podcast, Adam Curry and MoFax, and I'm going to let this rock.
You know, we laid that out on the show. But now that he's coming back, it's like, well, me taking the vaccine is a private decision. Yeah. Because one thing LeBron knows, he knows the timing of black people. He knows the vibes. He knows the rumblings, and it's like he can't come out and say, take the vaccine.
Right.
He gets it. He's like,
he's a real influencer. That's what good influencers do. That they know when the timing is everything. They know.
But
and I just had to pause it right there. They, of course, are specifically talking about the vaccine. They're talking about that. But of course, his influence ranges much wider. But for this specific example, that's kind of what we gonna get a little bit into too. We just gonna touch up on it because, you know, this podcast is definitely meant for y'all to think for yourself. We don't want to influence y'all to not get the vaccine or to get it. It's completely up to y'all. But it is, of course, part of the show, so you got to deal with this shit today.
Right.
Now, of course, like I was just mentioning, they was talking a little bit about his influence on the black community regarding taking a vaccine. And a lot of people really is kind of misunderstanding his influence because if you look at First Take, ESPN, and all those other type of things, they're, you know, kind of pushing, hey, I just got, you know, Stephen A. Smith and all of them. I just got my vaccine yesterday, Max and all of them, you know, Molly and all of them. Just got my vaccine yesterday. I just got it last week. I just got it Tuesday. So they're about making it transparent and making it public. LeBron is kind of sort of on the opposite end of those things. Not necessarily saying he's not going to get it, but he's saying, I want this to, you know, not be out in the open. Right. Which we're going to touch up on, of course, a little bit later, too. But a lot of people really don't understand the impact that has when he doesn't basically want to put his foot in the door of saying if I want to do it or not. And I'm going to let MoFax finish, of course.
If he comes out and says, take the vaccine, we put him in the same bucket that we're putting everybody else in. It's like, why? And he's like trying to walk that razor blade.
Right, yeah.
And they're putting more and more pressure on him. They're leaning on him hard to come out and take it publicly. And all he's saying is saying, hey, I want to make it a private decision whether I take it or not between me and my family. And they're like, no,
and it ended with him saying no, slave, like, because that's basically, of course, what you gonna see a little bit later, what they trying to make him do. They literally trying to force his hand into making him say something. And it's very, very interesting to see that from somebody who has so much influence, and he basically is saying, no, I don't want to say anything at all.
You know, I hadn't even known about this situation, but I think it is interesting. And And I wonder his reasons because, like we say, LeBron is very strategic. And that's just interesting, bro.
Well, I'm actually glad you said you wonder his reason because I'm about to give you his reason right now.
All right.
Let me see. And you kept talking while I'm loading this clip, you hear me?
Oh, well, I ain't got much to talk about, so.
You can say, oh. But this is, of course, LeBron's reasoning right here.
Of the NBA, Lebron James, usually an open book on most subjects, but he has made it clear he plans to keep his decision regarding whether he will get the COVID-19 vaccination private. During All-Star Weekend, he told reporters, quote, "That's a conversation that my family and I will have. Pretty much keep that to a private thing. Obviously, I saw Adam had his comments about the vaccination, but things like that, when you decide to do something, that's a conversation between you and your family and not for everybody. I'll keep it that way."
So basically, he, of course, was just making it a private matter. Okay. I mean, how do you feel about that? Would you, in this instance, would you do something like that?
Oh, most definitely. I have no problem with it. It ain't no different to me than, asking somebody on the street who they voting for. They guard that with their life, So I have no issue with, somebody wanting to be private about, what's going on in their lives medically.
Well, I don't know if the voting thing was a good example because if you're black, you can't vote for anybody else but Democrat. I'm sure you know that. It's against black code, quote unquote. You can't be anything other than a Democrat, so you can't say you're anything else.
Well, I think that actually makes my case because, if somebody is voting Republican, they might not want to release that information.
I see.
And you got some people who's a little more open to just saying, who they voting for. Like me, I don't care. You can ask me. I'm gonna let you know who I'm voting for. But yeah,
so you a real nigga.
It depends. Come on, you know that. We ain't gonna go there, but that's a different conversation,
Yeah, bro. Yeah, pop your shit. Go ahead. Tell a folks.
I ain't gonna talk too much shit tonight.
Yeah, I bet.
We're here for business reasons,
Tell the folks about your realness. Go ahead. But nah, so like honestly, I really do feel like it should be a private matter. And I do see what you're saying regarding the voting thing. Like you do have a point. But regarding, of course, the vaccine thing, I personally feel like, you should reserve the right to be private with if you're going to take it or not, or when you took it, or if you're going to take both shots or whatever the hell that goes into it, right? Mm-hmm. But for some reason, and I promise y'all, we're not going to be on this vaccine shit for long, but for some reason, our good brother, actually, our great brother, Stephen A. Smith, had a problem with LeBron being private about not taking or taking the vaccine. Now,
surprise.
Right. I mean, well, I actually kind of was surprised because the whole time Stephen A. Smith was saying he was going to be private until after he said that a week later, I'm almost certain it was corporate pressure saying, oh, you can't be private about this. You as a black man have to say something because all black people are saying something because we need to get black people this vaccine. I'm not going to give you my perspective on that and why they doing that. But you know what I'm saying. So after that happened and, Stephen A. Smith came out in public and said he took it. He then took issue with LeBron out of nowhere saying he, is going to keep it a private matter. And let me give you a direct quote from Mr. Stephen A. Oh, before I do that, what you want, the Stephen A. impression or you want the my reading voice? You know my reading voice goes. So what you want?
I want the Stephen A. impression. I ain't never heard that one.
Oh, for sure. I got you. I say this to LeBron James, my brother, all of our brothers, who is incredibly influential figure. I would say to him, he is taking positions on many things of incredible importance to our community. One could easily argue when you see the amount of deaths that have come associated with COVID-19, it is very little that he has encountered that is more challenging or more daunting than this. And if you could speak up about those things, you just might want to think about speaking up about it. And there you go.
I see how you bringing the tone up, bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, bro.
That wasn't half bad. I was expecting some bullshit. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
You was expecting to laugh at me, see? But
I was.
Nah, bro. I've been listening to the first take about good 5 years now.
Yeah.
I done picked up on some shit. But regarding, of course, Stephen A's quote, it just doesn't make sense for LeBron to speak up about it just because you might want to try and speak up about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you saying he hasn't encountered anything challenging regarding COVID-19, so he should speak up about it since he hasn't said anything about it. And it's just like, where's the mat? How does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and two, how do they know that he hasn't encountered anything? As far as I know, he's been pretty private about it.
Right. And, you would think. But the thing is, people want LeBron, and this is why I started with his influence. They want LeBron's influence to work in their way, to work. And I'm not saying Stephen A in particular, because I think it's much bigger than Stephen A. I truly think it has a lot to do with media, of course. I always take my little shots at the media. But Stephen A works in the media. He's part of the media.
Right.
And if you look at anything regarding the media, even social media, even YouTube, every black person that has prominence is A, either coming out saying that they took the vaccine, or B, having Fauci on their show, or having Fauci talk, or having Fauci do something. So it literally goes to show me.
I haven't been paying attention.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just saying, honestly, I haven't really paid attention, and maybe it's because I'm not looking for it. But, what you're saying is interesting about as far as, all of the prominent black celebrities. They trying to, push them to come out and say they've gotten a vaccine or, anything along the lines of that. I haven't really paid attention to that.
Yeah. And, of course, the reason they doing that to black celebrities, and you can, if any of y'all think I'm lying, look up, play the Google game, look up any black celebrity that has prominence, and next to their name, type in vaccine. And I guarantee you would at least see them saying something regarding it. But the one person who didn't has the most influence, I say arguably, over anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Try and name me one person that has more influence than LeBron. I'll wait.
Yeah, I'll wait too.
Yeah, I know. So all I'm saying is, if the person who has the biggest influence isn't saying something, that's kind of course, correlating what Mo Fax was saying. He's obviously trying to walk a thin rope. He's trying to not piss off, of course, his corporate people who want him to say something, but he's also not trying to piss off the people that support him the most.
Right.
Because, again, like I said, black people ain't stupid. Even though some entities may see us as idiots and stupid, again, you can tell they do that because they're, like they do with everything, they're trying to influence us by getting celebrities to speak on something. Like they literally do with anything. Somebody getting shot, somebody open a business, there's going to be a celebrity on CNN talking. If they black, of course, if it's contained in the black culture. So that literally goes to show you, of course, they trying to, they're basically, like I said, trying to get a massive amount of people speaking on some shit. And the last person they need to basically put the nail in the coffin is LeBron. And LeBron, I feel like, notices that. He sees that because he sees all of his friends speaking up on it. And he's like, you know what? I'm not about to play this game. I'm not about to play with these people. I'm going to stay out of this shit. I'm going to, keep my mouth closed. It's a private matter, family matter, and I'm going to stay out of it. And when I saw that, honestly, I thought that was pretty commendable. And
I mean, I would agree.
Yeah.
I feel like he's, kind of I don't want to say take back because I don't think he ever gave up his power, but it is empowering to, you know, kind of stand up to what you're speaking on, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's super empowering because he's literally standing up to the people that pays him. Mm-hmm. He's standing up to, of course, like this is actual shit that people need to be talking about. Like he's literally taking a stand against the NBA, of course, because Adam Silver, as he literally mentioned in his quote, Adam, there's no other Adam I'm sure LeBron will be referencing other than Adam Silver. So he's standing up to Adam. He's also standing up to all of the media that's trying to, you know, make him do the shit. And I'm also, you know, certain he's probably standing up to family members or his friends or, you know, people who probably got the shot already, who's saying, oh, damn, you know, we need you to take, you know, we need you to speak out on this because I got it and I feel fine. And I feel like everybody should get it. There's a lot of people like that. Right. And I'm sure he got friends that's like that. Yep. So he's standing up to a lot of shit, all basically just trying to be genuine and pure. Like he's literally one of the only people, especially black men, that's doing that right now regarding this vaccine shit. And I just thought the shit was super commendable, which is why it really influenced me to do this hero breakdown because, you know, people just don't do shit like that nowadays because of the money. But I feel like it has a lot to do, of course. He just got money. Like LeBron probably about to be a billionaire. So he like, I ain't gonna need nothing from y'all niggas. I'm gonna say what I won't say.
Yeah, he creeping up. I'm not sure which league it was, but I did see he was in the process of trying to purchase a team. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah, the Red Sox.
Yeah, I think that's big boss moves. What Khaled used to say? Cloth talk.
Boy.
What kind of talk that is?
That's what he got going on.
Yeah, that's some big shit right there, though.
Hey, but for real though, like you already know baseball is a major investment, but it really is. And it leads me to really opening up the discussion past, of course, the vaccine to now talking about his accolades. And of course, you know, we could talk for an hour on his basketball accolades, right?
Of course.
But I feel like we could do more with talking about his accolades outside of basketball, as you was just mentioning, him as a businessman. Like
genius.
The man, and I'm not trying to, you know, compare him to other black men because that's something I feel like that does, you know, lead us into destruction in a sense. But if you do look at other people who played the sport, I can't think of a better businessman. Now, of course, Jordan got Jordan, but that's one entity.
Right.
LeBron's portfolio, and he's still in the league. Just I can't imagine when the man.
I was just about to say.
Right. LeBron's portfolio as a businessman is insane. Like, I remember him in Miami, like when I was I don't want to say a kid, but I was a teenager for sure when he was still in Miami. And he was talking about owning restaurants and shit down there and opening up restaurants. I remember him opening up a few restaurants down there in Miami, which is why people thought he was going to stay in 2014. But best believe he got the fuck up out of there. But, you know, it's just shit like that. And then, of course, he's moving on to much bigger and better things. A lot of people assume that one of the biggest reasons why he moved to Los Angeles to join the Lakers was because he may be soon becoming the owner of the Lakers. Like,
I ain't think of that one.
No, I heard that on ESPN a few times. Like I heard them, you know, just first take them talking about that shit. Them basically saying that LeBron moving to LA, part of the reason why is, of course, because of Space Jam and shit. But part of the reason, of course, is because of him just wanting to be the next Lakers owner. And this is when Kobe was still living, obviously. Yeah. And people were saying, well, what about Kobe? What about Kobe? And that's when people were saying, Kobe may be the one that's really behind the Lakers right now. This is when LeBron couldn't get AD at the time. And people was coming up with all type of conspiracy theories because it was like, you know, Kobe gonna soon be the owner and shit like that. But all of that to make a long story short, I'm talking about LeBron. I just feel like him as a businessman, it just doesn't get talked about enough. Like, not only that, he's doing his own media. Like,
right.
The man got his own media with his partners, Maverick and I forgot the other dudes, Rich Paul and all of them.
Yeah.
Got their own media, like podcasts, and their own like YouTube. They got millions of followers, of course. Right. I mean, millions of subscribers. And it's, all of that just to be said that he obviously looks past basketball, and he obviously looks past what he can do for himself, and he's more in tune with his influence, and he knows and understands his influence again.
Right. And so many streams of income. I've just thought about it when you were talking about the restaurants. I remember reading about his pizza chain. I think it's called Blaze Pizza or something along the lines of that.
Lit Pizza or something.
He has a whole restaurant chain. Like, the shit crazy.
Yeah. And he got his own restaurant chain, like I was saying. He got, and we ain't even talk about Nike. Like, we literally talked about so much business shit already, and we have yet to got into his biggest business venture as far as money-wise, because I believe he signed a lifetime deal for $1 billion, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it was, a bill?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's a lifetime honestly, deal with LeBron, that motherfucker better be a bill.
Yeah. And honestly, it's crazy because 99% of humans would sign that deal, dust their hands off, sit back and relax. And yet this man's still finding ways to go and just make even more money. He definitely gunning for that billionaire status.
And I just thought about this shit. And honestly, I do feel like he may be a billionaire already, because I couldn't see him not being a billionaire yet. Knowing that Kanye and basically a lot of other people that ain't admitting it yet. Mm-hmm. I can't see LeBron not being a billionaire yet, because he just got, like, literally over the past 10 years, he been doing these major business ventures. So just over a 10-year span, those ventures had to have payoff in terms of, exponentially. And, of course, just what he been doing in the NBA and shit. But I'm pretty sure LeBron count his contract as chump change at this point.
Yeah. All right. So I just looked it up on the fly. And apparently he is set to cross the 1 billion landmark this year in 2021. So we just about on point with that.
So you know what that tell me? He been a billionaire probably for the last 3 years.
Yeah, probably so.
And he's just getting enough money to you know how the tax shit go.
Right.
So yeah, you don't never want to go public with shit like that unless you you cleared with everything, because the second you go public, IRS down your throat. But yeah, I feel like LeBron, he got it for sure. And then we ain't even getting to, the school and shit.
Right. What's the name of that? I Believe.
I don't know, like I Believe, I Promise or something like that.
Promise. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And he, like the dude, and this ain't, we ain't really trying to big up LeBron too much, because, we still got to keep I guess you could say a balanced field. But we do have to know and appreciate and understand that this man, I wouldn't be surprised in all seriousness if LeBron run for president.
Another hot take for your head.
Like, I'm almost certain, like, if anybody won't bet me, I guarantee you, because I know you got to be 35, and LeBron is maybe 35 right now. Like, he may be 35 or 36 or some shit.
I think he's 36.
Yeah. So I'm almost certain the second he retire, he's going to do something, and then after maybe 3 years, he's going to have a presidential run. Like, y'all, you could book that shit.
I'm willing to put some money on that.
I'm guaranteeing you he will. Not only that, I feel like he actually may win.
Man, you talking some big business, right? We gonna discuss the details off the podcast. Yeah,
now we can talk about the shit right now. Tell me what
I'm willing to bet on. As much as, like we saying, as influential as he is and as smart as he is. Well, shit, this is America. When Trump became president, you can't really, look past anything. But I don't know, bro. just right now, it's kind of hard for me to fathom him running for president.
I tell you this. You remember Hong Kong? What was happening right before COVID, right?
Yeah.
You know who was basically getting excoriated. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm gonna use that motherfucker. Excoriated for not speaking up on Hong Kong. Basically, kind of how you getting excoriated for not speaking up on the vaccine. You know who that was, right?
Okay.
It was LeBron.
I'm following. Right.
And you want to know why he didn't speak up on it?
Why?
A lot of people say it's because LeBron has a major business deal in China regarding his Nikes. You know, of course, Nike is made in China or Taiwan, whatever, interchangeable, basically. And the only reason I'm saying they're interchangeable is because of who basically has rule over both of them. They both, I believe, both are in the communist China, whatever you want to call it. So, regarding, of course, LeBron not speaking up on the Hong Kong issue is very similar to what he's doing with this vaccine thing. And the reason is the exact same reason. He understands his influence. If LeBron would have said something during that Hong Kong shit, his influence is much bigger in China. You know that, right? Like, he got a major
China
influence
has a big
out here.
NBA presence.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Right.
Like, they literally view LeBron as God out there. Well, I won't say as God, but as a God out there.
I'm about to say, I think Kobe had and I might be wrong, but I think Kobe had a bigger fan base in China.
No, he probably did. Well, the thing is, the reason why both of them likely do is because of the Nike correlation. Nike, obviously, I don't want to say owning Kobe and LeBron, but, they kind of own their likeness. So whenever Nike needs to promote something to their now, mind you, China, well over 1 billion people. United States, only 300 million. So China has well over 3 times the amount of population. So it would behoove Nike to promote to China compared to the United States, right?
Right.
So when they're promoting themselves, who do you think they're going to basically show as influence? When people promote shit, because we got a clothing line, we talk to influencers. Who do you think they're going to show as influencers? Their 2 main employees, Kobe and LeBron.
Right.
Well, their 2 most recognizable employees, Kobe and LeBron.
Right.
So, regarding, of course, their influence in China, both has a much bigger influence because of that exact reason. The population is big. And then, of course, Nike is constantly promoting both of them over there. So, without, them basically seeing LeBron 24/7, when you see somebody constantly getting promoted, and then when they come to China, they're signing autographs, they're playing games, they're of course much better than everybody out there. So you definitely gonna see them as, a god in a sense, because the talent out there when they, play, say, an exhibition game or something like that compared to out here is much different.
Right.
So all of that is just a long-winded explanation of why LeBron's influence is much bigger in China compared to America, even though his American influence is extremely big. And again, it goes to show you that if LeBron would have spoke up on the Hong Kong issue, that probably would have put China in a civil war. Because they was already, dealing with protests before, pre-COVID and all of that. And of course, if LeBron would have said something, those people who are very, very highly influenced by him, they probably would have followed his lead. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they probably would have did something causing a civil war. And that's why I'm saying he knows and understands his influence. And it's the same thing with the vaccine. He knows if he would speak out, people would follow his lead. Whether it's not getting it, people follow his lead. Whether it's getting it, people will follow his lead. So he takes the safe route, which again is commendable. But
right.
I just wanted to, touch up on that because again, what he does in China and what he does, of course, in America really is part of his accolades, especially when it comes to the Nike shit.
Okay. It's interesting too how, And I guess when you've been in that position for so long, of course, everything comes with a learning curve. And that's what's crazy about LeBron, because it seems as if he's been basically very much in control. He's been educated on how to carry himself since he's come into the league. And just knowing how to utilize, I guess you can call it that a power when you can influence so many people, knowing how to utilize that power from such a young age, that in itself is pretty impressive.
Like what, 17, 18 years old?
Wait, say that again?
I said he was like 17, 18 years old when he first came in the league.
Yeah, I want to say 18.
18, bro. And at that young, like, bro, at 18, did you have a full scope of your influence and the power that you had as a person?
And nigga, I ain't had shit at 18.
Nope. Broke boy.
But I get what you're asking. and no, because, you know, and I guess too, it depends on the situation that you're in. And he probably already knew since he was on magazine covers and shit in high school. He knew, you know, what type of time he was going to be on. But, you know, I think that's all subjective, because you can look at someone in a different position, and like myself, and at 18, I just had to worry about college. So it's like, you know, I didn't really have to even think about that aspect of my life.
Yeah. And for him to have that understanding, knowing that, hey, if I would say something at the age of 19 or 20, it could literally fuck up anything that I'm trying to do when I'm 36, is crazy.
Right.
Like, he had that understanding.
And that's that long-term vision.
Exactly.
That long-term, you know, outlook.
Right. Because quite honestly, a lot of people could do what LeBron doing. A lot of people could do what LeBron has done. But the thing that separates them is, and I want to say what LeBron has done, of course, not on the basketball side of things, but more so just talking about in business and in regarding his influence. A lot of people can do what he did, but the only thing that separates them is in pivotal times like this. Will you speak out about getting a vaccine or not? Will you speak out about if China should do, you know, if the Chinese citizens should do something or not? Will you basically walking that tightrope the right way? And I think LeBron literally does it than any other black, I don't want to say any other black person, but really better than almost anybody, period, I've ever seen. Like, it's almost impossible.
I'm about to tell you, bro, like, even just aside from the influence, and it's kind of going back to, you know, me saying how from getting drafted, he's carried himself the right way. And, you know, we've heard Stephen A. talk about it all the time, but really, like, he's literally embodied the perfect father figure. I mean, we talk about his investments, and, you know, every couple of years, it's funny because, and it's literally like clockwork. You get, you know, the rumor of him cheating or him doing this or doing that. And, you know, 2 days later, that shit washed up under the, you know, go away. And then right back to this image. And like you said, of course, he probably does have some form of help. But
the help is exactly what you just said. That shit going under the carpet. That's the help.
Right. Man, but the shit is just, you know, it's still impressive nonetheless.
Right. And I mean, it's not impressive only, it's damn near perfect. Like, and I'm not trying to, you know, be all up on LeBron or nothing, but when you see some shit like this, you almost got to admit it. There's literally almost one person who I could compare this nigga to, and that's Michael Jackson. The only reason why is because at a young age.
I don't know about that.
No. Hear me out. I'm not saying Michael Jackson his whole life. I'm saying Michael Jackson to a certain age, of course. But, you know, of course, until maybe like the mid to late 90s when shit went completely left. But before shit went completely left, LeBron was Michael Jackson. I mean, he prodigy at the young age, you know, basically got famous in talent, you know, because his talents at a young age. Not only did one thing, but did multiple things in his craft. Of course, I'm talking about Michael Jackson as a performer. He didn't just only sing, but he was very good at Very, very good. Probably the best at dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he was a good producer too, by what I can recall. So LeBron, of course, in his craft, he definitely isn't only athletic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The nigga's probably one of the best, if not the best passer we've ever seen, along with probably one of the best defenders we've ever seen. So, you know, again.
Well, I'll say for that 1 year, better defenders. Now, if we talk about versatility, because you said LeBron, one of the best passers and one of the best defenders, right? I halfway can agree with that defensive comment. I don't think he was one of the best, but he did have, you know, of course, everybody had their prime. And I want to say, what was that? Maybe, 2013, 2014. That was his prime on the defensive end.
Yeah, he almost won a Player of the Year.
Right. But, you know, nonetheless, I do think he's the best passer we've ever had.
Right. And not to, of course, debate with you on this, but, you know, I got to give you some pushback when it comes to that. I definitely do feel like he's one of the best. And the reason why is because when it comes to shot blocking, now, of course, when it comes to overall defense, it's, you know, he definitely ain't going to check you from half court. He ain't going to check the best player. LeBron ain't that. He ain't Kawhi. But when it comes to shot blocking and being sort of kind of a timely shot blocker, that's what I mean by one of the best defenders.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that. Because, I mean, we've never seen anybody with a signature move and it's literally a damn block. Yeah. That's crazy.
But the thing is, once he do that once, it affects the rest of the game because you're now looking over your shoulder and you're uncomfortable for the rest of the game. And that's why he's a really good defender, because he's in your head. Because you literally looking over your shoulder looking for LeBron to chase down, block you, even nowadays, still to this day. And and the perfect example of that is if you look back at that Warriors game, Game 7, after he blocked Iggy, you know, I think for the rest of the game, the Warriors didn't score 1 point.
No.
And it wasn't because LeBron was checking everybody from half court, but you can clearly tell everybody was tense and everybody was looking like, I don't want that to happen again. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But, you know, I digress when it comes to LeBron and his defense. Is the analogy more so was for, of course, him being compared to Michael Jackson, him just being compared to another person that we as black people kind of see as perfect until, of course, you know, like I said, all of the other shit happened. But Michael Jackson at a certain point was making motherfuckers faint just as looking at him. You see what I'm saying? Grown men. I'm not joking. You can see the shit on YouTube.
Man, MJ influence was ridiculous before the social, like, you know, when we just look at the social media era, and Michael Jackson was doing that shit before. That's still something crazy to think about, bro. Like just seeing videos of, you know, the hotel he at and the big ass crowd outside of the hotel. Like, how was his reach so big in an era where, like I said, you know, there was no social media. There wasn't that ease of, you know, kind of just putting information out there, putting content out there. So, yeah, MJ was one of them boys too.
Hey, if you want to, and this is just for the audience, of course, if y'all want to, for maybe our younger people who don't know too much about MJ, if y'all really want to get a full understanding of MJ's full influence and what he did as far as impact, look up MJ's Super Bowl performance, and you will literally understand what I'm talking about.
And let's just make sure we clarify Michael Jackson, because I know when we talking about LeBron, so MJ could be taken a different way.
Oh, true.
But yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually glad you said that shit, because that would have been sounding stupid. But yeah, Michael Jackson's Super Bowl performance. I forgot what year it is, but I think he only performed once. So if you just look up Michael Jackson's Super Bowl performance, you're gonna find exactly what I'm talking about. You look it up on YouTube, and let me just explain to you what you will see. The minute you press play, you will see a man jump out of the stage, not look in any direction with his shades on, be as stiff as possible with his fists clenched tight, and he doesn't say a word. He doesn't look, he doesn't move his head, he doesn't move a limb. and all you will see is people screaming to the top of their lungs for almost 5 minutes. Not one person in human history can do that shit.
Hey, bro. Hey, look, I ain't gonna even front to you. You know, I watched that, and as a battle rap fan, the stage presence was very commendable, bro. To get on that stage and just stand there and not even do anything, like you said, but you can feel the energy, and he had the crowd wrapped around his finger from that point on. So the stage presence was 10 out of 10.
Right. And you're absolutely right. That has a lot to do with the stage present. Of course, it has a lot to do, of course, with how they feel about Michael Jackson, too. You know,
right.
Them people, they love the shit out this man. Like, them people would literally storm the stage if Michael Jackson told them to. Them people would leave the Super Bowl arena if Michael Jackson said, hey, y'all, I'm having a party in 5 minutes down the street. People who brought them tickets probably would have left the Super Bowl to go party with Michael Jackson.
For sure, bro. You know, he was one of those artists where I would say one of the first artists. Like, we of course we talk about the reach, but from literally every race, every nationality you can think of, like, the shit was just bigger than life. It really was crazy.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying now that, of course, I don't want to say, because even before he was gone, he, you know, ran into his issues. So that influence definitely went down significantly. But on LeBron's end, I can't think of any other human being walking this earth that can command that type of thing, that what I just spoke of when it comes to LeBron. No, I'm lying. There's one person who maybe could, and that's Beyonce. Other than that, there's no other person other than LeBron who can do what MJ did. Just sit there, stand, and people would probably scream. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Beyonce for sure, I think.
Yeah, Beyonce may got it. I don't think Rihanna got it quite like that, because, you know, just Beyonce for some reason just has that thing.
It's a fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that fan base.
Yeah, it's definitely that fan base. I ain't gonna tell you who I rather listen to, but it's definitely that fan base.
Oh, I want to hear this. I don't want to get too far off topic, but I do want to hear.
I don't know, Beyonce and Rihanna?
Know. Oh, okay. Well, you know, I would lean more towards Rihanna too.
Oh yeah, I was about to say. I could tell you.
Yeah, just, you know.
Who you thought I was talking about?
Now, if we talking, no. I figured that's the route you were going, because we have had that conversation in the past. But, you know, I ain't gonna lie. I might have to, if we talk about prime, both artists in their primes, I gotta go with Beyonce.
You sleep.
I gotta go with Beyonce.
You sleep. You better go look up hey, apparently it's been a while since you looked up them Rihanna songs. You better go go ahead. Go ahead, bro. Tap into Apple Music right now and look up them Rihanna songs, because you sleep right now. Bro, Rihanna went on like a 5-year run where she was just, no matter what she was doing, yeah. You tripping.
Man, look, I ain't gonna even go there with you, dog. But I'm gonna let you have that.
Yeah, like, just going back, of course, to what we was talking about with Beyonce and, LeBron and, of course, Michael Jackson, those three people out of the last, 40, 50 years is the only three people I could possibly name who maybe could do that. Now, I don't know too much about Prince. I ain't gonna act like I know too much about Prince. I'm sure he probably could do that too, maybe. But
Prince was close. He was close. Him and MJ, their eras kind of crossed.
Yeah, but
at some point, and
I feel like Prince didn't have that alert because of his dance. He didn't dance like Mike.
Right. Well, when you see too with Prince, and again, I don't want to get too far off topic, but also, and I forget the proper term, but it's where, men in that era had the, dressed a bit more feminine.
Oh yeah.
He had his hair slick, and it was crazy, bro. When you look at Prince and Michael Jackson, and that masculinity is damn near, on zero, zilch. And yet they was pulling everything, everything they walked past.
I was about to say,
that's the crazy part.
I was about to say, watch your mouth. Watch your fucking mouth. Because them two niggas.
No, don't get me wrong. I know what's up.
Yeah, I know what's up. Them two niggas, they had it for sure.
Yeah.
Same thing with LeBron.
But
I'm sure he got a wife, but I'm almost certain he had it for sure.
LeBron, you slick with it. I ain't gonna speak on it though.
Yeah, you're right. But of course, something we will speak on is how you can support this show. Now, of course, we are presented by KRUE Clothing. Again, it is KRUE Clothing, standing for, of course, Kings Remain Unified Eternally. And I mean, just like people supported Michael Jackson, just like people, of course, still currently to this day support Beyonce, and of course, how we all support Lebron, you can also support this show, and that can be done just by giving us some value. If you deem this show as valuable, then go ahead, consider giving some value back. That can, of course, be done in a few different ways. I mean, listening all the way through, that is extremely, extremely valuable to us. Of course, if you want to go ahead and leave some comments, if you want to leave your concerns, if you want to leave some feedback, if you want to leave some compliments, we definitely dig them compliments. We definitely appreciate that. But also, if you want to leave some complaints, if you want to need just some negative talk, if you just want to tell us how bad we doing, or of course how good we doing, that can be done by messaging us at info@KRUEClothing.com. Again, that is info@KRUEClothing.com. And just give us some value back. And last but certainly not least, you already know we accept them donations. So if you want to leave some donations, go ahead and just click those show notes, click that detail, whatever podcast app you're listening on, just click those details. Donate! We have our PayPal and Venmo link below. And I mean, those donations could come in small, they can come in big. I mean, if you want to leave a quick little band, a quick little $1,000, we ain't tripping off that. But if you want to leave $5, $10, I mean, that's still extremely, extremely valuable to us. It's whatever you deem as valuable. Whatever you get from this show, just consider giving it back. And we definitely do appreciate that. And again, we are presented by KRUE Clothing, KRUE Clothing. And back to the show. It's just so crazy. Just like I said, when you think about those three, and let's just again go back to just LeBron and Michael Jackson, those are really the perfect. And yeah, you could throw Beyonce in there. Why not? We should actually throw a black queen in there. So we got three people who's just pretty much seen as perfect,
right?
Until one person, fell into his troubles, and he seemed a little bit not perfect at all.
Right.
And it makes me think, do we think LeBron, or again, we could throw Beyonce in there, do we think those two could have that moment too? Not necessarily saying the exact same
of course
type
not.
of ordeal, but do we feel like they can have that cancelable moment is what I'm saying.
Honestly, it would have to be something very drastic, like similar to the MJ situation. It would have to be something very, very drastic, bro. Just because with, the social media era, the newer generation that's coming up, man, when you talk about fans and diehards, stans, as Eminem, made popular.
Right.
That's why I'm saying it would have to be something drastic, bro. Like something ridiculous.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was going back and forth just thinking about this because it is very interesting to think about. Truly, I do feel like he can't be. The reason is he has, for one, a $1 billion. I feel like really, truly, once you cross that $1 billion threshold, chains get removed off of you. You can say anything, you can do anything, you can be whoever you want to be. Because deep down, me and my next, I don't know how many generations don't have to deal with these people regarding look for a job.
Right.
So deep down, you can basically be as a free human being as you want to be.
Well, and just to add on to that, you 100% right. Now, when I did answer the question, it was as far as, the cancel culture and whether they can be canceled in the public eye.
Right.
Now, but of course, when you got that much money, you said, and that's kind of what you're saying as far as, I'm set. I don't have to worry about jobs, all of that. You can kind of look at, the Trump family. Just look at Trump. He had enough money and to just do and say whatever the hell he wanted. And of course, you're going to have people that hate you, which LeBron has, and you're going to have people that love you. And yeah, I mean, once you get to a certain point, you're right. You really can do and say whatever the hell you want. And of course, in legal terms, which, I ain't going to speak on that. But yeah.
Right. And it's actually interesting that you brought up Trump in that, because I really wasn't even thinking like that. But when you brought it up, you really made me think in a whole different direction. I feel like Trump is kind of different. His case is different. The reason his case is different is before Trump came in with all of the crazy shit, basically, that he was saying, he didn't have the influence. And that's the key thing people is missing when it comes to cancel culture. If you have money, like we were just mentioning, Trump has that. But 2, you have to have initial influence. And by initial influence, I mean, again, influence before you go off the rails and say or do crazy shit. And another perfect example of that is Kanye. To this day, Kanye still, I feel like, isn't canceled. Do you?
Oh, no, not at all. And that's the crazy part. If there's one person who has somehow, which is again impressive, evaded this cancel culture, they canceled Kanye a couple of times, but a week later, if he drop an album or something, everybody listening.
Right. Oh, and best believe
everybody of the fashion. Kanye has a strong hold on the fashion industry. Yep. So, you can't say he canceled. They can keep trying, but again, it would have to be something very drastic.
And you absolutely right. I was just going to mention that too. The fashion industry, of course, his music, if he ever wants to go back to rapping, I'm almost certain he can go platinum within a week if he ever chose to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing with the shoes. He currently literally is the biggest shoe brand over the last, 2 to 3 years, I believe. I don't know if it's 2 to 3 years or the last 2 years, but I know for a fact it's been, I don't know if he's quite with Michael Jordan, but I think he surpassed him as far as just yearly, sales and shit, revenue.
And that's crazy. And when you say the revenue, it make a little more sense since his shoes are more expensive.
Right.
But even then, like, damn, bro, that's just impressive, bro.
Like, dude, you can't. And best believe, everybody, we will do a Kanye breakdown just like we doing a LeBron breakdown. So be on the lookout for that. It is extremely impressive that the man has been canceled so many, quote unquote, attempted canceled so many times over. Right. But even after that, he still was able to launch a shoe brand and it be the biggest one in the world. Like, that is black excellence, my nigga. That is black excellence.
No lie, bro. I'm still waiting for Watch the Throne too. I ain't gonna front.
That shit ain't never
I need that in my life. I know. I'm gonna just keep my hope alive, like the same way. Shit, you remember back in 2015, 2016, we was at Nichols. Oh yeah, I was waiting, boy, waiting for J. Cole and Kendrick. Every time a rumor dropped, I was grasping.
It's actually funny.
Couldn't wait. I'm still waiting on that too.
But I was just listening to them Black Friday freestyles a couple hours ago.
Yes, sir.
For the first time in years, and it really made me think, dude, them niggas down bad for dropping this shit.
Teased us, bro.
and not doing nothing after that.
If y'all never heard it, go on YouTube, and I want to say the name of the song, never released, J. Cole and Kendrick. It was called Temptations. Let me make sure. I'm gonna do that right now, live.
Yeah, I don't think I heard this either. Yes,
sir. 10 years ago. They were they were doing like, I don't know if they were in a barbershop or what. It was Kendrick Lamar. And they were doing like listening. This was, you know, he had the fade. Like I said, this was 10 years ago.
Oh, that's when that nigga was spitting.
And yes, sir. And yeah, they had a song together called Temptation, son. And yeah, beautiful. Like just that alone had me ready for an album. And again, I've been waiting that long, bro. So you know,
yeah. I think Kendrick retired low key. I think that nigga Kendrick Lamar retired low key. But again, that could be another topic.
I don't think so. Yeah, we gonna speak on that.
Right.
But yeah.
But just going back, of course, to I know we kind of went off on like a couple of tangents, but going back to LeBron, Beyonce, and well, we kind of moved past Michael, but LeBron and Beyonce being canceled. I do feel like those two, regardless of what they do, like I feel like LeBron could slap somebody grandma right now. Dead ass. Like I feel like Beyonce could go to somebody's kid and push that nigga on the ground and say, "Shut up, bitch," and walk away. And
hell no.
Son, bro, I'm so serious.
You on some other shit, bro.
I dead ass feel like, why you trying to make me laugh? Son? I dead ass feel like they, like, look, Beyonce, could, especially Beyonce, LeBron maybe not be able to slap somebody grandma. But Beyonce, I definitely feel like she could do that shit with the kid because you know motherfuckers ride Beyonce like it ain't shit.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, Zay, you know what's funny, and I don't want to keep getting off track, bro, but do you remember the era when the Beyonce was in the Illuminati? The Beyonce Illuminati era.
Yeah.
That was a hell of an era, bro. And I think that was the closest you could get to her being canceled. And even then, it was just
damn. That's so crazy.
It was strange seeing those posts come up, and you know, I'm sure you recall what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, people still say she ain't Illuminati because of her supporting political candidates and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but it's actually crazy that you say that because that's actually a really good fucking example of people trying to cancel her. But you know, you can literally say she worships the devil. You like literally say, you can literally say that shit, and motherfuckers will still say, hey, when the next Beyonce album dropping.
Wow.
Of course.
So, I mean, and the same thing with LeBron. Now that I think about it, they was all saying LeBron, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all of them was like,
yeah, when they throw up that Rock Nation sign, and, you know, LeBron threw up the triangle during the national anthem. Oh yeah,
it was right around the time he went to Miami. Like literally, I think it was that same year he went to Miami. That's when all of the Illuminati shit everywhere started kicking off. Actually, all of that, because I remember that was the year, either that or the year after that, J. Cole did Illuminati.
Yeah, so that was on Bron Center.
Yeah. So all of that was around the same time. But again, they still as big as they ever been. I'm talking about, of course, LeBron and Beyonce.
Hell, even Jay-Z.
Oh, of course.
At least business-wise.
Right. But you know, it's just so crazy to see that and to understand that all you need in order to be, and honestly, I do feel like the cancel culture shit is, for the most part, fake and false. Like, you don't necessarily need to have all of this influence and have all of this money to beat that shit, because for the most part, cancel culture only lasts like a good week and a half, 2 weeks.
Right. And then everything swept under the rug. Right. Or you forget about it.
Right. Unless, like, you really are a celebrity, because sometimes celebrities don't get away with it, like the Sabrina girl, Sabrina Claudio girl. Really a few, you know, a couple of celebrities that got caught with the racist shit. But it's, you know, it's because you, again, don't have that influence already. Sabrina Claudio was a rookie in the game when she said that shit or did that shit, whatever I forgot what it was. Like, I think she said something about black women or something. But, like, you know, people, if you don't have that influence, you are putting yourself at risk, especially if you don't have that money. You putting your lifeline at risk. So a lot of people kind of stay away from the controversial shit like that. But I do, again, feel like it's commendable that LeBron, he doesn't. He with the bullshit.
Right.
From time to time, of course.
Of course.
So I kind of want to take it in a little bit of a different direction regarding LeBron. And I was listening to, what is it called? Undisputed with Shannon and Skip, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I was listening to them, And I heard Shannon say something very, very interesting when it comes to black athletes. And basically how black athletes, in a sense, are treated, talented ones, of course, are treated when it comes to the media, or when it comes to basically people in general about their talent compared to, say, white athletes. And I'm going to let Shannon speak right quick.
Okay.
Say, well, if he's athletic, yeah, he's just going to rely on his athletic symptom. See, that's what we get. He's athletic. Oh, hard worker. When do you ever heard him describe a black guy as hard working? Aaron Donald is so talented. He's immensely talented. J.J. Watt's a hard worker. You see what they did there, Skip? It's almost like if you're talented, you can't be a hard worker. That's reserved for someone that's a little less talented. So Tom Brady is a hard worker. Tom Brady ain't talent. Tom Brady got no talent. He got my soul just because he worked hard. Really?
Good old Tom.
I've called him the greatest overachiever in the history of quarterback play.
So he got no talent.
He's got a little bit, but even you discount his talent.
No, I don't discount his talent, Skip. His talent is undeniable. But does he have all the physical tools of, say, an Aaron Rodgers or a Patrick Mahomes? No. But to say the guy shouldn't have been in the league, no, that's not what I'm saying. Did he have, in basketball, if you were to equate, is he as talented at his position as, say, Michael Jordan or as LeBron? No. But that's not to deny. Larry Bird wasn't as talented. Was Larry Bird talented? No, he couldn't jump like Jordan.
Larry Bird was gifted. He had a shot nobody could block because he shot it clear back over behind his head at 6 feet, 9 inches tall.
Yes.
And his stroke was as pure a stroke as you've ever seen in this league. And his ability to distribute the basketball was supreme. It's in the top 10 passing gifts that we've seen in the history of this league.
So when they described Deshaun Watson, how many times did you hear hard working and how many times did you hear talented? When they describe Patrick Mahomes, how many times do you hear hard working and how many times do you hear talented? Now, when they describe Drew Brees, how do they describe him? Do they describe him as hard working or do they describe him as talented?
Okay, but
and when he said that shit, this was probably like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not trying to call a nigga an idiot or nothing, but when he said that shit, this was probably like the smartest shit I think I've ever heard out of this nigga mouth. Because
and you know what? I'm still processing what's being said. And I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, go ahead.
I'm still processing it because I feel like the terms can go hand in hand. I feel like, you have to, and again, this is subjective. In the way that people use, the term talented. But I feel like you have to put in some form of hard work to show your talents. I mean, I guess, I don't know, bro. It's still kind of shaking to me, but I kind of get the direction he's going in with that.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm glad you took that position. I'll explain it and elaborate a little bit more. So I feel like, and this is just me and my perspective, I feel like Shannon was more so speaking on gifted natural ability, right? So all of these athletes in the league, and the perfect example, honestly, I feel like was all the way at the beginning when he spoke on J.J. Watt and Aaron Donald. You know who both of those are, right?
Right, of course.
Yeah. So obviously Aaron Donald is probably one of the best defensive linemen of all time. J.J. Watt, I believe, is a linebacker, right? Or is he a DN?
No, he's a DN too.
Okay, so yeah, they both are DNs. They both play the same position then. So J.J. Watt both play the same. I mean, J.J. Watt played the same position as Aaron Donald. However, every single time J.J. Watt is brought up, say regarding his 20 sacks in a season, I don't know if he really did that, or his 6 sacks in a game, I don't know if he really did that, but anytime he's brought up regarding some supreme accomplishment, most part, the media speaks on how much of a hard worker he is, how much of a, dedicated person. He's always in the gym. He's always doing this. He's always looking at, what do they call that? Film and shit. You see what I'm saying? That way he's able to understand his opponent and he's able to dissect certain things. Do that shit. Same thing they do with Luke Kuechly. Like, I remember every single time, and this is for a fact, every single time the Panthers played the Saints, because I watch every single motherfucking Saints game. Luke Kuechly, when he was still in the league, of course, would always do something amazing because this was just an amazing motherfucker. And every single play, man, Luke Kuechly is such a hard worker. You know, he studied that. He had to have studied that play 30 times last week in practice to know Drew Brees was going to do that. Oh, my goodness. Did you see how he caught Alvin Kamara? You know, and Aaron Donald, just as a juxtaposition when they're describing him, man, Aaron Donald, he came into the league as a monster and he's still a monster. You know, Aaron Donald, he's always been one of the most talented players we've ever seen at this position. And I feel like he's just going to be even more talented in the future. You see what I'm saying? And it's kind of diminishing their heart. I'm talking about black people, of course. It's kind of diminishing the effort that they put into it when it comes to, of course, that sport. And not only that sport, but I mean, just in life, like it really diminishes effort and it really diminishes hard work. And it's kind of a stereotype that really lays on black people, specifically black men, a lot, that we're not hard workers, that we don't put in effort. And it's literally doing the same thing in sports. We're just talented right off the ground. We're talented from birth.
I can see how the you know, those comparisons could be made. You know, I just feel like when you look at it from when you look at the bigger picture and how they got there, you have to, and maybe this is the issue, but you know, for me, you know, playing sports in high school, and you know, me wanting to play in college and those type of things, you have to know that, you know, you have to work hard in order to get to any of those professional leagues. You know, the chances of that are very slim.
Right.
So just looking at it from that standpoint, and like I said, my mindset is like, okay, I already know they worked hard. But when I hear, you know, commentators saying how talented a player is, I honestly, I think it's just as much of a compliment as saying that somebody's hardworking. And that's kind of why I'm taken aback by the point that's being made by, you know, yourself and Uncle Shay.
I'm also laughing at the fact you said taking it back, because I never heard you say that shit before. And nigga said I'm taking it back.
Yeah, man, I'm getting them podcast chops together.
I see. But I mean, I'll go a little bit more in depth, right? Because you're absolutely right. When it comes to it being a compliment, it is a compliment. When somebody says you're talented, it should be taken as a compliment. But the thing where it becomes sort of kind of disrespectful is if in that same, let's just say 30 seconds or 45 seconds, you say another person is a hard working because they're talented too. It initially, I mean, if you're in the NFL, like you said, everybody knows that you're talented. So that kind of goes without saying. But if you're in the NFL, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a hard worker. Hence, Jamarcus Russell. Hence, what was the dude from the Redskins? Dwayne Haskins. Hence,
okay.
I mean, I can give you a whole list of people who the media is excoriated for not being a hard worker. Mike, I mean, I think at a certain point, Michael Vick, they said that too.
All right, and then like I just said, wasted talent. So I can look at multiple players who we would feel like that was wasted talent, and that would mean they didn't work hard. Right. That's kind of what. Okay, I'm following.
So you see what I'm saying? There's people who are talented but are wasted talented. So you should call them talented. You should leave them to the they're just talented when they do an amazing play. Look at the talent of Jamarcus Russell. Well, I don't want to say Jamarcus Russell because that nigga been out of the league for 20 years. But look at the talent. Who's somebody else that kind of flopped a little bit? Let's just say Dwayne Haskins. Look at the talent of Dwayne Haskins making that 50-yard throw. That's who you want to reserve that to, because you know he's not a hard worker. But for people like Kobe, for people like I'm just trying to think of another black quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, like he was just naming Deshaun Watson. Well, I don't even know if I could say Deshaun Watson nowadays. Niggas get all opinions.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, he started speaking on Deshaun Watson. But shoot, a litany of other black quarterbacks. I mean, they getting drafted a lot nowadays. So what I'm saying is, why aren't they hard? And this is we looking at the NFL right now, but we can literally translate this to the NBA. Like
I was just about to say, And now, now that you've gone a little bit more in depth, I can easily look at, for instance, Zion Williamson. I would say he's a freak of nature.
Thank you.
The talent and all of this and that. But people, and this just for me, of course, now I told you I'm a Celtics fan, but I'm a Pelicans fan as well. And this for me watching,
I was about to say, and you're a Duke fan, so you watched them at Duke.
Right. So I watched this man a lot, and I still feel to this day this man's dribbling is underrated. His passing is a bit underrated. He has skills. Don't get it. I don't want to curse, but don't get it messed up. Dude got some skills, but it seems like all people want to keep saying is just he's a freak of nature. Or I haven't heard anybody say Zion, he works hard on this or he works hard on that. It's just he a freak of nature.
And that's my point exactly. Bruh. Okay.
I'm following now.
Think about this. They both was drafted in the same year, I believe. Luka and no, I'm lying. Luka was drafted a year before. Luka was drafted a year before Zion. Zion was drafted the year after. Both won Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken, right? No. Zion, Ja Morant won Rookie of the Year, but Zion was run up basically. So you got one person who very highly regarded, almost Rookie of the Year. Another person won Rookie of the Year and is basically on an upwards trend. You got Zion who, again, run up, again, on an upwards trend. So two people kind of following similar paths when it comes to accolades and accomplishments and different things like that in the NBA, right? However, one person, when they're brought up, talking about Luka, of course they mention his talents too, because you kind of have to when it comes to you being in a very, very, very predominantly black sport. You kind of have to mention his talents too. But you also, when you talk about Luka, what do you hear? Oh,
very skilled player.
Exactly. He's very skilled. Not only that, but he takes this very serious. He's been doing it since he was 14. You can't go up and mess with Luka. And this is just me imitating commentators. You can't go up there and mess with Luka. He's been dealing with grown men since he was 14. He's been working hard since he was yada to get where he's at. So you see what I'm saying? You've heard that before, right?
And don't get me wrong. Oh, of course. And I was about to say, don't get me wrong. Luka is a very skilled player.
Oh, for sure.
But I feel, in like I said, since we've been progressing in this conversation, I do feel like, that can be mentioned just as much, for other players, other players that's coming up or rising up, such as Zion.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like Zion, bro. Zion is the biggest motherfucker in the NBA right now. That's a fact. Nobody mentions how Zion went from barely being able to play 2 quarters in the NBA to now being able to play a full 38 minutes. You want to know how he did that?
Running the court. While running the offense.
While running the offense. You want to know how in less than a year? Because remind yourself now, it only been a year since he's been in the league. So it ain't like it been 5-10 years. He still hasn't played
a full season, technically.
Right. So you want to know how he did that? You think he did that through talent?
Right.
And that's my point.
On his ass.
How many times have you heard that brought up in the media? What I just said. You never heard it brought up. I'll answer. You never heard anybody mention that Zion is playing full games now, and he's basically playing almost every game compared to last year when he was in such bad shape he couldn't even play a full 2 quarters.
Now I ain't gonna sit there and show him love though, because I see him all, they talking about how he's the first player since Shaq to be putting up, these much points in the paint at such a efficient clip.
But that speaks to talent.
Again, that speaks to, his talent, his size, his play style.
Exactly.
And, more so than just, how skilled he is. And, bruh.
Especially when you're comparing him to another player like Shaq.
Right.
And that's kind of my point in all of this. And I know I was extremely long-winded with this talented versus hard work type of thing, but I kind of wanted to mention that because it's kind of my last point with this LeBron love that we showing. LeBron is really one of the only people where I've seen that exception. Like even Michael Jordan, I rarely hear people talking about Michael Jordan lifting weights. I'm lying. I have heard people say Michael Jordan was the first in the gym and the last to leave and stuff like that.
Yeah, footwork, that type of stuff.
Right. But outside of him, the only other person who I've ever heard work ethic nonstop was Kobe.
Right.
Kobe, that was his brand. Mm-hmm. His brand was work ethic and hard work. And to be honest, this isn't just LeBron love right now that we gonna show both Kobe and LeBron love, because those are the really only two exceptions where nonstop you hearing about their work ethic.
Kobe ruined my first cruise. It's off topic, but Kobe ruined my first cruise, bro.
Well, for the listeners, I'm sure you're not saying Kobe ruined it. I'm sure you mentioned in the event that took place.
No, Kobe ruined it. 2011. They beat my Celtics. Kobe ruined my first cruise, right? I was hurt for the rest of the 5 days. But anyway.
Oh, shit. If you're talking about that, I could give you a whole list of shit Kobe ruined for me as a Heat fan. I could give you a lot of shit Kobe ruined for me. Starting with that fucking half-court shot he hit over D. Wade and Donis Haslem.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
He banked that motherfucker off the back of the goal. But all I'm saying is Kobe and LeBron, those two, their work ethic and their influence, I feel like, is so heavy. People, even in the media, have to give it up to them when it comes to work ethic. And that's really kind of unseen when it comes to black athletes. Because, I mean, we just kind of went on a whole 20-minute rant how it's kind of unseen. So, again, that just kind of shows you the man he's the shit. Like the motherfucker literally is that's why I kind of say he's almost impossible to cancel because of his relations with people like the media and also his relations with the common folk. Like
his public perception.
Exactly.
I feel you.
And of course, it's really all about just how people kind of value what LeBron brings to the table, It's really all about how people value and basically how people support him, how people value and how people support this man regarding, of course, his career. Even at a young age, people supported him. People value what he brought to the table. I'm talking, of course, Nike, when they gave him that major deal, they saw the value in him and they supported him nonstop. But when you look at nowadays regarding just LeBron and his endeavors when it comes to voting, when it comes to basically anything outside of basketball, he has that love. He has that support. Even with his school and stuff, he has all of those different type of things. But that is because of course, the value that he brought to the table.
Right.
And truthfully, honestly, I feel like that's exactly what we're doing here. I feel like that's exactly what we're doing here at the ShiftMakers Podcast. Now, of course, we may not be bringing as much value to the table as LeBron yet, of course. But I do feel like, we are providing some value to you guys that's listening, of course, our audience, our fellow audience members out there, our just fantastic audience. And we want to give you, of course, the opportunity to give some value back. Now, of course, your value can come in all types of ways, It's really all about how you want to and choose to support us. It can come, of course, in listening all the way through. That's extremely valuable to us. Of course, you can leave some feedback. You can leave some comments. Hell, you could tell somebody about us. You could post us to your social media. You know what you need to be doing for sure is subscribing to our YouTube because we need that.
Of course.
We need that, you hear me? But that's extremely valuable to us, of course. And last, but certainly not least, we accept them donations, you hear me? So if you want to go about the business of leaving them donations, that can be done in the show notes, of course. You can go about the business of looking into the details of whatever podcast app you are listening on. Of course, subscribe to us, but also click on the show notes, click on the details, and feel free to leave some value back by clicking on our Venmo link or clicking on our PayPal link and leave a donation. Of course, that can be big, that can be small, whatever you deem as valuable. And last but certainly not least, we are presented by KRUE Clothing. Kings remain unified eternally. And if you want to leave some comments, go go about the business of just emailing us. Email us at info@KRUEClothing.com. Again, that is info@KRUEClothing.com, KRUE Clothing.com. And leave some value back. Of course,
yes, sir.
We want to thank you for the support. We want to thank you for what you're going to give back. We definitely thank you for listening all the way through. Live from Color Command Creative Studio, I am El the Designer.
I'm La Roc.
And this is episode 8 of the ShiftMakers.
Value, value, and value. Oh, we need that.